Because if Daystar had a retirement policy, if there was a governance structure that said, at 60, or 62, or 65, the founder steps back. The next generation steps forward. None of this needed to happen. Jonathan takes the helm. Joni steps into the role she had earned. Elder stateswoman. Grandmother. Voice of wisdom. Rather than voice of God. Not president. Not broadcaster. Not a woman desperately trying to fill the silence Marcus left behind. Or too desperate to count the cost. She could have grieved. Slowly. Privately. Without an audience. Without a platform that needed a co-host. Without a vacancy that made her dangerously available. Instead, she kept the title.
Right. You know, Marcus had left strict instructions that if anything ever happened to him, that I would be president of Daystar. And a lot of people are saying, well, you know, Marcus intended for Jonathan to be the president. Marcus never intended for Jonathan to be the president while I was alive or while he was alive.
She kept the platform. She kept the power. And in keeping all of it, she kept the door open. And Doug Weiss walked through it. The question is not whether Joni Lamb deserved love. She did. Every woman does. The question is whether what entered that open door was love, or something wearing love's clothing, and whether, if the door had been closed by a retirement policy, by a succession plan that must come into effect while the leader is still alive, by a governance structure that protected her from her own grief, we would be telling a very different story today. A story where Jonathan Lamb leads Daystar into its next decade. A story where Joni Lamb rests, loves her grandchildren, writes her memoir, sits on a porch somewhere, finally quiet, finally still, finally free, and live. That was the story that could have been written. Instead, we are here, telling the one that was. If this video made you think, if it made you uncomfortable, if it made you protective of someone you love, then it has done exactly what it was meant to do. Subscribe. Because part 2 is coming.